There are huge challenges on housing and community in this land. Many people call it a crisis, and it affects all ages, but very often young couples and people with families. So the church is launching an Archbishop of Canterbury's commission on housing, church and community to look at the challenges and to see what we can contribute to a way forward. One of the things that someone said to me who's now on the commission is we need to build communities and homes, not just houses.
Community means a place where you feel at home, a place where you feel loved, a place where people care about you, they'll help you if you need it.
It is amazing what churches are already doing around housing, and I know that you're going to see some examples of that.
I think Stamford is very difficult for people because it is a very affluent area, and so people cannot afford private rent, and the housing benefit just doesn't begin to cover the cost of private rental, and then you're in the council housing system and there is a long wait, and if you are not a priority need you could be on that for a very long time before you can even get into that. And then people get into debt and they get into housing arrears, and it gets very difficult.
I think people take for granted having a roof over their head. Until you don't have a roof over your head, you can't really get to grips with it all. I mean, like, just the simple things of having a wash, just being able to switch a light switch on, make yourself a cup of tea when you've had a miserable day, and you go home and you just shut the world away.
The housing crisis is clearly one of the major crises of our time in this country. There are hugely different problems occurring as a result of the housing crisis, depending on which part of the country you're in.
I've lived in this community for over 35 years. We've always have had issues with housing matters in Tower Hamlets, with overcrowding, affordabilities, and space is an issue that affects people from all walks of life and age as well. It affects the elderly as well as the younger generation.
Once we had identified affordable housing as the key issue for local people, a group of us from St George in the East and Darul Ummah Mosque went on a walk looking at the land in our neighbourhood and seeing where there might be sites that would be developed in the next 5 years to make sure that local people got ahead of that development process and made sure that the housing was affordable. And we came upon this piece of land through an 18-month community organising campaign. We moved that from being land that would be sold off as luxury flats to a community land trust, meaning that every flat built on this site will be affordable for local people in perpetuity.
That sense of our common obligation to meet the need for shelter and home is one that has driven our society at its best, and it needs to be at the heart of the reimagination of our society now. And why do we need to act? Well, the church would say, very simply, in the words of St. Paul, the love of Christ compels us, draws us on, and leads us both to speak of God's love through Jesus, to demonstrate it, and to reach out in compassion to those who are in the greatest need.